Hey everyone, I'm back. I figured I would just update you on the progress of the 4-speed swap. I didn't do much on it yesterday because the weather was really nice and I wanted to get some stuff done outside while the weather was warm for a little while. Anyway, so the update is I don't have much to update you on because yesterday after I took the flex plate off and put the new flywheel on, I went to install the uh, pilot bearing and realized that I had the wrong pilot bearing. The thing is that when you get a clutch setup for 389 Pontiac, I guess they call it a Chevy setup because even on the label on the McLeod box, it said that it was for Chevy. Chevy takes a smaller pilot bearing because I think the bolt pattern for the pressure plate is the same on the Chevy and the Pontiac. And of course, the spline count's going to be the same, if you order the right spline, which in this case is a 10 spline. So I just did a 5-speed Tremec in a 400 Pontiac a couple of weeks ago, and I went through the same thing. New clutch setup, the whole thing, throw out bearing, all that stuff all comes together, and they supply you with a pilot bearing for a Chevy. So anyway, needless to say, I have to get another one. Right now, that is too small. The Pontiac pilot bearing is going to be, I think it's 1.38, so it's a little wider. So this guy here has nowhere to go inside that in the back of the crankshaft. So tomorrow afternoon, I will come home with the proper pilot bearing and I can continue, because unfortunately I cannot put the clutch, pressure plate, bell housing, transmission, none of that stuff on. I'm at a complete standstill underneath the car. So I don't want to lose any time because it's the weekend and I have a full day that I can put into this. So I'm going to pull this console out of here today. I'm going to get that shifter out. I'm going to pull the top lid off this console because that's what gets changed when you convert to manual. So if you look closely, move this stuff out of the way, you can see that this console has a top plate on it, a full-size top plate on it. The shifter is in the center, and of course manual shift is not going to be in the exact same spot. So what they did was they took an automatic console from the factory. It really wasn't an automatic or a manual. The lower half stays the same. The top plate has a bump out right around here somewhere. It comes out like right here maybe. And then of course your shifter is going to be right in this general vicinity. So what they do is they cut right here, they right in this area, they cut 2 slices. They take this section out, and the new top plate comes along and it comes out like this. It comes back in, and it also drops down to like here. Thank goodness, because these consoles are not cheap. The top lid, I think, cost over $600 just for the console cover. So unfortunately, I have to pull this console out, completely disassemble it, and figure out what I got to do and where I have to make my cuts. But I think it's going to be pretty cut and dry. So after that's done, I really can't do too much more because I'm a little hesitant to cut a hole in the floor yet till I get the transmission up inside the car and I can see exactly where the shifter wants to come through. I have basically I took measurements off of a 67 at the shop on Friday, and I have reference marks, like a relief in the floor panel and a seam, and that's going to be the same for both cars. So I measured off of that, and I'm combined with those measurements and the transmission, placement in the tunnel, I should have a pretty good idea where I got to put my cut. Also, 66, well, let me explain it this way. 64 to 66 had the same console. 66 was the only year that you had to have a specific, they call it a, it's like a tunnel cover, it's a piece of steel that gets welded on over the actual transmission tunnel that allows you to mount the shifter boot securely. And then the difference is one is for a console car, one is for a non-console car. So this car being a console car, 66 was the only year that there was a difference between console and non-console. So if you get a 64, 65, you didn't need to, it didn't matter. 67 didn't matter. 66, for some reason, matters. So the plate that I ordered, I'm still waiting on, is specific 1966 console car. So if I had no console, it would be a different plate. It's kind of like a platform that, you know, moves the position, I guess, you know, for the boot and everything. I honestly don't know how much it really matters, because when you have a console, you know, you don't really see all that stuff, the boot or anything, but that's the way it's supposed to be. So as I'm going along, I'll probably see the reason why they did that, because guys at GM who are a lot smarter than me designed it like that. So that's going to be a pain in the neck, because I may have to take the carpet out of the car, which means I have to take the seats out of the car. And I mean, it's not a big project or anything, but it's just a pain in the neck to have to undo all the stuff that I just did a couple of months ago. So anyway, that is kind of the story. I'm just kind of going off the, you know, just doing a quick video on how to, you know, what I got to do. I'm kind of going over this in my head as I'm telling you guys. After that's all done, the console's done and everything, I'm going to have to try to figure this one out down here for the emergency brake. I'm going to have to figure out a way to space that pedal out far enough to where it's not jammed, the pedal's not jammed into the speaker itself. So that's going to be interesting. Hopefully I can do that. I mean, I'm guessing it's just going to be a matter of drilling holes and maybe making a spacer to space the pedal assembly up off of the kick panel. So that's going to be a work in progress. Then I have to change the pedals. Hopefully the pedals will be cut and dry, but I will find out. So anyway, that's my story. I'm going to get started. I'm going to start taking stuff apart. I may just pull the front seats out of the car just to get them out of the way while I do the console and stuff, because, you know, you have this gargantuan steering wheel that's in the way that kind of, you know, makes it tough to move around. But I will keep you posted and updated with my progress as I go along. See you later.